Hey, what's up you guys? So today I'm going to be doing Animal Crossing conspiracy theories. I cannot believe I've never done a video like this before. I have done anime conspiracy theories before, but I've always really been into conspiracy theories, so I started going on the internet, looking up a whole bunch of Animal Crossing conspiracy theories, and I fell down a rabbit hole because I could not stop reading them. So I thought you guys would be interested in that if you guys love Animal Crossing. Just a warning though, some of these theories are pretty dark. I'm not gonna lie. Here's your trigger warning. I'm gonna be talking about suicide. I'm gonna be talking about death. I'm gonna be talking about a bunch of dark stuff that might not be suitable for some people. So if you guys hate that kind of stuff, feel free to click off this video. You guys will not hurt my feelings. I completely understand. So yeah, let's just get into it, shall we? In this theory, your character dies as a child. It is a traumatic, sad death. After you die, depending on which game, you either end up on a car or a train leading straight to purgatory. A lot of people view purgatory as some kind of punishment, but in this theory, purgatory is actually some kind of waiting room. You have to wait to get your reward, aka go to heaven. Your purgatory is basically a cute little town filled with talking animals. Who wouldn't want to live there, am I right? It's the perfect area for a child to go there and remain calm and not get so freaked out. Now when someone dies, you might not even realize that you're dead, because if it's so traumatic, it kind of, you don't remember any of it. So the children don't know that they're dead, so they just go with the flow. The animals keep this from him or her. That way the child won't be so saddened because of what may have happened. And you live with all these distractions. You have a house, you have to dig up fossils, you have to go shopping. You do so much in this town to distract you from the fact that you're dead. And the theory states that this all happens so you don't get bored. You also can't leave the Animal Crossing world. You can visit different towns, but have you noticed that all the towns you visit are relatively the same? I mean, you have Sable and Mabel, you have Tom Nook, you have Isabelle, you have Cyrus, you have all of these creatures, and they are in every town you visit. You have the same shops but different villagers. But in reality, you are just visiting a child in purgatory. Now, do I believe in this theory? No, I do not. Because I am pure-hearted and Animal Crossing is my all-time favorite game. I'm not gonna lie, I am currently playing it right now, and if you guys totally want to visit my village, I will have my friend code in the description below. Go add me and we'll visit each other in different villages. And I'll visit you in purgatory and you can visit me in purgatory. Basically what the theory's saying, but I don't really believe in it. I think it's kind of far-fetched, even though you are kind of living in a village filled with animals, but what do I know? So, yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on that little theory? Let me know in the comments below. Now, this theory has actually been around since 2014, and I am honestly surprised I have never heard of it before. Now, let's go back to Wild World, where you start the game, and you are in a car with Captain. If you guys are unfamiliar, Captain is actually a cap. And in Japanese folklore, kappas actually lure children and kidnap them. Hence, where this theory falls into place. You're really being kidnapped to go to another town. And Captain actually says some questionable things where he says that children can be so gullible. The next part to this theory is that Tom Nook forces you to work for him right when you get there, and he also has a never-ending debt that you have to pay for the house that you're living in, and that you just have to work constantly. Now, do I believe in this theory? Again, no, because it's, like I said, it's a game, but you have a house to live in, you have to work to buy stuff, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I thought it was interesting, so I thought I would include it. Now I'm going to be talking about a village in the dream town. It is a horror village. It's called Aika Village. Now, I have personally visited this dream town because I am obsessed with anything horror. And when I visited this town, it was so eerie and creepy and everything that I loved, and I thought I would tell you guys the story behind Aika Village. I am going to be reading it word for word on beltreeforum.com. It's an Animal Crossing website, obviously, and I personally think this person tells it way better than I ever could. So this is their words, not mine, and I think it is very eerie and creepy, and I think if I read it to you guys word for word on that site, you guys will get kind of like the feel for it too. So let's just read along, shall we? It automatically gives a warning. It says, warning, the subject may be disturbing. And it goes like this. Hi, I personally know the creator of Aika Village, and I want to share with you all about the true story behind this village. I think this story deserves more recognition. It is about the creator's life. Basically, it is about a girl who was raped and how she suffered from many disorders like schizophrenia, personality disorders, etc. I will explain more about the details below. This topic consists of sensitive subjects, just a heads up to you all. When you first wake up inside the dream, you will see the strange black and white patterns on the ground all over the place. When you move around and look at these patterns, you will notice that they will make your eye vision a bit strange. This symbolizes the point of view in her eyes, in her early childhood. She sees things differently from others. Waking up from the bed to see these patterns symbolize how she had awoken from childbirth and every day of waking as a baby. She developed disorders and grew up to learn and see things differently. The disorders she developed was personality and schizophrenia. There are flowers around the first house because she used to talk to flowers when she was a child. And because of her disorder, the flowers would talk back to her. When you enter the first house, there is a birthday cake and a present. Of course, this symbolizes her birthday. She got a doll from her birthday. The mannequin symbolized her imaginary friends that she would hallucinate from schizophrenia, and her personality disorder as well. The present was her first doll, and she would hallucinate this doll talking to her just like the flowers. Upstairs is her bedroom. She had many toys as a child, and she loved to paint. She had an art talent, and she loved her mother very much. She had a pet dog and lived with her parents. She is an only child, which is why that is painted on the paintings displayed upstairs. When you are walking in the direction to the second house, things start to get a bit ugly. As she grew up, she began to see things more differently and more scary. Instead of the pretty flowers that used to talk to her, there are ugly weeds. This resembles how she grew up and began to see and hallucinate things differently. It seems that as she grew up, her disorders did as well. And the slow and scary change in environment in this town resembled this. If you walk into the Lost and Found, there are a ton of beehives that resemble how she used to talk to bees as well. This resembles how she used to talk to bees as well whenever she would talk to the flowers. When you enter the second house, there is a maze. This resembles how her life became a maze as she grew up as a child and struggled with the disorder she had. The signs represent running away. When you finish the maze of chairs, you enter a room and see all those dolls. Those resemble her toys. Because of her schizophrenia, she would hallucinate them with voices. They are turned around from you because in her hallucinations, they turned their backs on her and hated her. She hallucinated this because when she is stressed out, especially as a schizophrenic, she will hallucinate bad things, and as a result, she hurt herself, whether it be physically or mentally. So from there, she hallucinated her dolls going against her as a way to hurt herself. At the time, she had no friends, and her only friends were the voices that she heard in her toys. When you turn around, there are eyes on the wall that is looking at the doll. This resembles her eyes. In these eyes, you see confusion, fear, despair, and anger, all because her dolls hated her, and it hurt. Upstairs, there is Adam, Eve, and the snake. She put this in there because she grew up in the religion of Jesus Christ, and she would think that the reason why she lived horribly in her mind is because of Eve, who she believed to be the first woman born on earth, and also the first woman to disobey God and take the apple. She believed that because of this, every woman will now be punished as well as her. She believed that she is being punished with disorders, and she believed that she was born a punishment to her mother because of the disorder she had and how she took it out on her family many times. And in the basement, there is a party. All those dolls represent her imaginary friends / people and dolls she hallucinated voices from. The axe represents the terror behind this disorder. Outside, dog houses are buried because she killed her own dog from the stress she suffered with. The mittens that lay by the grave represents her hands because it is hands that killed her dog. On the beach, there are shoes. On the beach, there are shoes because she developed severe depression and attempted suicide many, many times. In the third house, there are bookshelves and the doll. The book resembles how she would go around and read about her disorders and ways to treat it. The sound you hear in this room with bookshelves resemble the scary screams she would hallucinate. If you find what item it is coming from, and if you notice, the more closer you get to it, the more high-pitched it gets. This resembles how every time she attempted to get close to a treatment in her studies, she got very pressured and doubtful of finding a cure. The stress of all this pressure and doubt made her screaming hallucinations worse. The room with the journal and papers resemble her diary pages and drawings. She looked at writing and journalism as a way to relieve the stress these disorders gave her. Upstairs is her room in her teen years. The paintings displayed everywhere represent a drawing of herself. As an artist, she constantly drew herself because growing up with the disorders she had on her own and how she went against herself every time, she thought that loving herself more would change that. In the basement, there is a room. The bed has an outline of the person. This resembles how she got raped. The doll is there to resemble her disorders, and the tiny pink baby bed resembles how she suffered with pregnancy from this rape. The doll that sits in front of it resembles how she lost her mind from her disorders and out of fear and stress got a miscarriage purposely. In the fourth house, the house is messy. This resembles how messy her life became. Upstairs, she crosses everyone out in the paintings because she realizes that she went through all of this alone. Downstairs, in the room behind the dresser, stands the doll, heads, and the mannequin. This resembles her, and her imaginary friends in her head went through this, all alone. All the animal houses have dolls because it represents how her disorders, aka the doll, got in the very way of getting along with people. But if you notice, one house, which contains no dolls at all, resembles her best friend that was there for her through all of this. The only person who was close to her. His house is space themed because in real life, her best friend loves space. Now keep in mind, this is just like one person's interpretation. There is really no proof that this person knows the creator of Aika Village. So there's no proof behind it. So you're free to believe it if you want. You're free to not believe it if you want. I personally think it's a heartbreaking, sad story, and just thinking of the possibility of it being based on a true story is absolutely heartbreaking for me. So yeah, what do you guys think of this? If you guys want to visit this town, I will post everything in the description below. So what do you guys think of what I talked about today? Let me know which one was your favorite. Personally, my favorite was like the last one. I always like to save the best for last. It is very heartbreaking though, don't get me wrong, it's very heartbreaking. And I have personally visited before. I've heard a lot of theories about it. This was just one of many. Another theory I heard was it was like a Japanese town, and it was just like a horror mystery type of thing. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I am kind of freaked out now because when I was talking about Aika Village, my camera actually started glitching on me, and like the screen of my camera was just plain white, and I swear I thought something was gonna like jump out at me and give me a freaking heart attack. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please be sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you guys want to see more conspiracy theories, please be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, because I am obsessed with anything conspiracy theory themed. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Follow me on all my social media accounts, and I will see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye!